Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've got my friend with me, Benz. If you watch my WhatsApp status, you'll see me talk about Benz. And today, join me to welcome Benz. Hi Benz.
Hi, Andy. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
You're
inviting me.
welcome. So, thank you. You look good as usual. I like your hair. I love your braids.
I love your own afro. Right.
Thank you. I want it to be bigger, but I started this way, and then I'll get to Tiwai Afrobeat.
Of course.
Okay, so today I want to have a quick chat with you about body image, positive building positive body image, especially for women. I mean, I know it's something that applies both to men and women, but I want us to talk about how it applies to women. Yeah.
Okay. It's something that's super important,
Okay.
especially in our
So,
day.
guys, I want to share a story with you just to kind of kick off. And if I share this story, I didn't want to tell you this story before now so that your response will be genuine. I didn't want to offer your response. I didn't
Okay.
want you to know, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. I posted a picture. I went to visit my sister. So I posted a picture, a video on my WhatsApp status. And in the video, I was dancing, jumping up and down. It was one old school jam. We're really jamming, me and my younger sister. So one of my friends that we went to school together commented and was like, "Oh, take it easy with the jumping so that you don't hurt your baby." I was like, "Okay, which baby?" Like the baby in your womb now, you're pregnant. I was like, "Okay, when did I get pregnant?" And I realized that she's not my big belly, was me being pregnant. I was like, "No, I'm not pregnant. I just have big belly. A big belly since the last time I checked is not a crime." And it was on that day, I told my sister, and my sister was so upset. She was like, "Oh, you would have ripped her a new one, you would have this, you would have that." And I was like, "Not really. I just told her I'm not pregnant." And she was like, "Oh, my bad." And then she said, "Oh, I hope that all your heart desires will come to pass." I told her, "Thank you." So my sis was like, "That's insensitive, that's insensitive." And it just occurred to me, she's not the first person to, how do I put this? Like, it's something that we, especially as Nigerians, we're always watching people and we're always, saying to them, kind of like dictating how a woman's body should look, what a woman's body should be like. I feel like that lady fell into my trap, to be honest, because I carry myself in a way that I don't care. I go to the gym, I work out, but all 5+ foot of me, right? So I don't want to wear tummy cincher all the time. Sometimes I want to let it loose, and I don't want to hide that I've got a mom board. I have a 5-year-old crying out loud. So anyway, that's why we're here. I want us to talk about it instead of taking being defensive or offensive. I just want to talk about building a positive self-image, for ourselves as women. Do you like my story?
I don't like your story. I don't like that story. It's good you didn't tell me that. I don't know. Maybe recently I've been trying to deal with people with more grace because I can really get offended
Yeah.
about things like that. But when you realize that you can't give what you don't have, what you don't know, you don't know. Yeah. So sometimes these people are doing it from a place of concern and genuine concern or whatever, but it's the information that they have that they're working with because if they knew, you would not assume for anybody. You either keep scrolling, or if you are close enough to the person, you could ask. rather than helping the person assume. Because when you assume, you don't know the point where the person is. You don't know at what stage the person is in life. So when you make those kinds of statements, it could hurt the person much, much more. And like you're saying, I think I prefer where you're coming from, like, because you cannot control who says what to you, really. You can't control, especially from our end, where people just come and ask you, oh, as in, I've had my fair share of this thing. I've been slimming down, and then someone comes to tell me, as a married woman, you shouldn't be slimming down like this. You need to have, excuse me, you need to have flesh as a married woman, and things like that. Someone is dictating, someone just meets you and start asking, telling you when to sleep with your husband, start telling you when to start calculating your future, basically. This is something that would have made me so upset in the past. But like you're saying, it's a process. When you see yourself the way God sees you, and you start to see yourself in a certain way, these things, they're not that deep. You just look and say it's ignorance that this person's problem, basically. Because if you knew better, you do better. So, because let's
And
say 2 years ago, someone made a statement about my body and I was ballistic. Like, I couldn't take it. Because at that point, I was still trying to, let's say 2, 3 years ago, I was still trying to get used to this person, this body, this new me. I didn't need any other person telling
yeah,
me all of that. But by the time I started doing everything from a place of love for myself and patience with my own
yeah.
body, really, yeah, those things didn't bother me as much. So when they say it, I just know it's ignorance. Because if you knew better, you would not just come and tell me don't hurt your baby. It's unbelievable. Did I
Now,
tell you I
here's the
was
crazy
pregnant?
the crazy thing about it is a few years ago, just like you, it would have hurt because I'm in a place where at that time I was trying for a baby, actually. So there are so many ways that that statement could have gone wrong. There are so many ways that I could have unleashed my feminine troubles, on her. But it's been a journey, for me
Mhm.
as a person, getting to
Mhm.
a point where you look at yourself in the mirror, you like who you see, you
Yes,
know.
girl.
When I was when I was there was one time a few years ago after I had a miscarriage, I would look in the mirror. One day I looked in the mirror, I did not recognize the person I saw. Like, you just look at yourself and you're like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person who's looking back at me is, right? And around that time, I did like a 360 overhaul of my life, went back to the gym, um, went on like meal plans where I'm doing portion control, eating vegetables all the time and fruits and all of that. My system was my system was all over the place. And that's one thing I feel like as women we need to acknowledge, which are some of the hormonal issues that we face. Every month you see your period, and for every month that you see your period, your body like goes up, down, you balance. Some people struggle with losing weight because of things that have to do with their hormones. And you don't know, you never really know. You never really know what struggle anyone, facing at any point. Anyway, I'm at a place where sometimes you will catch me standing in front of the mirror. I'm looking at my bum bum. I'm checking myself out. I'm carrying the breast up. I'm carrying my girls. Sometimes my husband will catch me doing that. I say, "What are you doing?" I will say, "I'm admiring myself." Because
It's
I'm
very
just in this
important.
place where I love myself. And I'm thinking to
Mm.
myself, this is my hot girl era. This is my fine girl era. And this
Mhm.
is me who had a child, right? Do you want to know something crazy? I had a CS, that's a cesarean section, to have my daughter, Yes. Sometimes the stomach never ever goes flat, but we know the truth. Some of the women out there who attack other women or who judge other women have been through some of these experiences. Don't we accept ourselves in this way? Which brings me to what the real reason I said, let's have this conversation. I know that you're a mom, but I also know that you're someone who's been in the fashion industry for several years, owned your own fashion brand, now working with now an editor for top fashion, brands all over the world. So, what have you seen, or what would you have to say about the evolution of um like the body type, like a woman's body? Today, big bum bum is in, next tomorrow is cleavage, is no waist, then is waist, and all of that. What has been the trend? What do you have to see? What have you seen?
So far, like you're saying, and that's the reason why you just have to love yourself for who you are. There'll always be somebody somewhere that that particular body type or whatever appeals to, and of course, you first. Because like you're saying, it's been a whole roller coaster from being skinny back in the 90s. You just have to be like super skinny, no bum bum. You are just wearing your flat tummy, no breast, nothing. Nobody cares about that. They used to make this joke about the white girl. When you're in Nigeria and you're like, oh, you're dancing like a white girl, or you're looking like it. There was no hip, no nothing. And then we start getting to the era of BBL. I'm even coming like
Yeah.
really recent because of time and everything. But you see, skinny people were getting so many issues, both mental issues and everything, just because they were not
Anorexia,
skinny. From anorexia to bulimia and all of that. And
bulimia,
they're
yeah.
having all of those issues because they have to conform to what society says is beautiful. Because I remember all those days, you look at the magazine, there are always just skinny ladies everywhere. Magazine cover, you have to be skinny, you have to be light skin, you have to be some type of way to fit into that whole thing. You can't even be a model. There was no such thing as plus size model. Where? How? So you just have to be skinny. So you see people, young ladies, and then you're starving yourself until you get into a whole problem of eating disorders just because you want to be skinny, only for the world to move on and tell you that, bro, now is hips, is the time for hips. After you almost lost your life trying to be skinny, lost your sanity, they don't even care. They don't care about you that much. So that part, and then the BBL era, and then everybody now has to have hips like Kim Kardashian, and then you're trying your best. You are going under the knife, both the ones that have gone under the inferior knives that have taken their entire lives. They've taken a part of their
Ah,
bodies they would never get back.
completely botched.
You know, exactly, the entire botched series. You can see there. Even in Nigeria here, we had a case of a lady who died when she was trying to, get a BBL. People are doing crazy things just to have hips and all of that. And then we're still on the BBL era. Next thing, Ozempic shows up. And then we're going back to removing our implants. People are removing their fillers, removing all them, what they call it, silicone that they put there, and they're removing all these things, trying to get skinny again. And when you see things like this, it just boils down to one thing. You have to have your own conviction. It doesn't mean that, oh, maybe if you're a big girl, that you don't want to lose weight, because people have a problem with, let's say, people like Lizzo, Adele, what's her name? Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. I've forgotten her name for a
Yeah.
second. And these people lost weight, and then you start saying, oh, they didn't love themselves, because you are trying to be a healthier version of yourself. You really don't
Yeah.
know. Like in Nigeria here, we have real worry pikin, and if she wasn't
Yeah.
open about it, you say, oh, but then you don't know the health issues that come. You don't know if they were obese. You don't know if they were having heart issues. You don't know. And whatever they, even if they were not having any of those issues, and they say, okay, you know what, I want to be skinny. It didn't mean that they didn't love the big version of themselves. No,
Yeah.
so because the point is, all of this, now we are in Ozempic era. You see people like Oprah, a lot of them, and they're using Ozempic right now. And they're obviously losing all that fat, all that weight, all of those things. People are removing their bum bum that they literally because they do it so easily. It's not that easy. I was looking at all the things that you have to compromise. You see, that same fitness that you do not want to do. You will still do it to maintain your BBL. The money that you have to
Yeah,
pay,
true.
and then after all of that, um, am I even mentioning names? Maybe it's people like Lala Anthony. You see her now. She was, all about the implants and whatever. Even if she didn't, I don't think she openly admitted it. But at the end of the day, now she's trying to be skinny again. People like Kim Kardashian are also trying to lose all of that weight. And these are the people that you people are following because you feel like you need to be a certain way to be beautiful. And that's why I love the whole plus size movement, the whole body positivity movement that's going side by side with all of this
Yeah,
crazy stuff, where there are people actually coming out to show things like their freckles. Freckles used to be such a
yeah.
problem, but now we're literally creating makeup to have freckles.
Look at
People are
me,
going to get,
proudly
you see
freckled.
that? Uh-huh. You know, but it was back in the day now. Someone will be telling you that you're not beautiful.
Proudly.
It's crazy. Someone will tell you you're not beautiful
Yeah, when I
because
was
you're.
hot, when I was younger.
Mhm. So you can imagine all of that. I like
Do you know that people now actually go for procedures to get freckles, just like you get
that's my
tattoos?
point. Exactly. So people are there's something called freckle makeup, freckle. You're not trying to get, that is how
Yeah,
you will know that you cannot base your self-worth on something as fleeting as societal standards. That you
yeah,
can't help yourself that way. Because freckles were not cool, but here they are now.
they're
Winnie
cool.
Harlow,
Yeah.
the model, with what's that issue that she has? It skipped my mind for a second, but she has this skin condition, and right now it has given models or young ladies or guys, whoever it is that has that kind of condition, to show up and feel beautiful with themselves. I prefer to follow that movement where you can come with your belly and tell them, yeah, the belly is part of the package. And nobody, the thing about is you become more beautiful that way to people. I noticed that the most beautiful thing is your confidence. It doesn't matter how you look, there's a confidence and an aura that you command when they know that you're fine. Even if they don't think you are, it's a matter of time before everybody just gravitate towards what you believe and what you want them to believe, and
Believe.
whether they believe or not, that's who I am and that's what I love. And after a while, they'll just leave it the heck alone. They'll leave you alone and you live your life. Something like Julia Roberts. So you see someone like her, she doesn't shave her armpits. She does not believe in all that stories. She comes to the red carpet, the whole red carpet, Hollywood, and her armpit is there, fully haired, for want of a better word. And after a while, you just get used to it and you leave her alone. You just leave her alone. So you can go and trouble someone else somewhere else. But she
If
has
you
told you
do,
this
you,
is the
everyone else.
will adjust. That's just the truth. You will adjust. So well, that's my own take on the whole evolving and of societal standards of beauty. It's fleeting. Tomorrow there will be something else that will come up again, and we'll be running around with the bandwagon, and then you lose yourself totally. One day you look in the mirror, who is this person? Who am I? Who am I? What do I even? You've never paused to ask yourself what you consider to be beauty. People help you define that. And that's why you cannot, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful and actually believe it. But when you realize that beauty is not one thing, there's so many kinds and facets of beauty, and whatever it is you choose to portray as beauty, the world will catch up to it. It's a matter of time. Yeah, so that's that for me, from my end, for that.
But- And while we were talking, you were mentioning a skin condition. Is it vitiligo you were thinking of or
Yes, vitiligo.
psoriasis?
No, vitiligo.
Right.
Mhm.
That's where you skin in patches. I'm seeing a lot of vitiligo models right now, and I absolutely love it because why not? I'm also seeing albino models, and I love it because inclusion, right? It also helps to look in the magazines and see people who look like you. I think that's something that helps, everyday women. Um, Or even when, even before society gets there, looking at yourself and loving yourself for who you are today. And I think what you expose yourself to also helps. The kind of media that you expose yourself to. There's something I noticed with social media, like with the algorithm, with the almighty algorithm. Any kind of content you consume, it keeps bringing out that kind of content, right?
Exactly.
On your For You
Mm.
page, whether on TikTok,
Mm.
on Instagram, the rest of them. So one thing I did one time, there was one particular issue I was struggling with. So I just went on Instagram. I unfollowed all the accounts who were, I think it was fear of, it was something a bit personal, but it was a particular kind of fear. And I noticed that that fear had heightened that period because that's what I was feeding myself. Like that's every time I wake up and I open my phone, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. So I just went and followed all of them. It wasn't up to a month. That line of thinking and those crazy dreams just stopped coming because I just stopped consuming or so before we go, I would just like to encourage anyone. And to the lady who sent me that message, listen, girl, no hard feelings whatsoever. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, would have put like inside one trouser. But now I understand people are uncomfortable when you are authentically you. I will wear dresses, I will wear jeans, I will wear whatever I feel like wearing. I will flaunt my bum bum. I will cover my bum bum. I will do whatever feels, whatever makes me happy, whatever feels good to me. My stomach, I will own my tummy. There was a time, I think 7, 8, 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago, when I was actively on TV and radio. Every time you're wearing waist cincher, you are holding it in. Why are you holding it in? Something where we see your body. And the funny thing is, let's say you're married and you have a partner and you now say is your partner you're doing it for, but your partner sure knows that when you want to do the they will still see you. They will not. I mean, will you anyway ginger to get down? They will
You
still
die a
see you.
certain
So
death.
the idea of I'm doing it for my man, you will still cross that river that you're avoiding. You will still get wet. The
Mm-hmm.
water will still reach you. That whole thing you're avoiding, it will still happen. And as I'm saying this to women and encouraging other women to just be you, be yourself, love yourself, go through whatever you're going through. Sometimes you're fighting battles no one knows about. In December, I went through 2 months where I missed my period. I thought I was pregnant for a while. And when you think you're pregnant, at least for me, because of my peculiar medical history, there are certain things I can't do. I will not carry a microphone and go into the street and say to someone, oh, I cannot walk out this period because I might be pregnant. But I know that's what I'm battling. So I feel like people have their peculiar issues. All we can do is extend kindness. People have what they are going through at every single time. You don't know that girl who's adding weight more than she, who's bigger than she used to be, depressed. Is she using food? Is she using food as a crutch? Like, is she finding solace in food? Did she lose someone she loved? Did she, get out of a relationship she was? Did she get fired at work? Is she going through a difficult, transition in her life? She just have a baby. That one is the topic for another day. Because the people that troll new moms, those people have a special place in hell. And the people I have no mercy for.
Do you
The people that troll new moms, a woman goes
know what
through
that body has gone
childbirth,
through to create a
brings
whole
a
human?
child, into this world. 2 months later, you're looking at her tummy and you're telling her to lose weight.
And you're telling her to
God will
watch it,
punish
oh,
you.
watch it, oh, watch it, oh. Be careful. Check your weight, oh. Can we not just talk about people's weight? If you're not that close enough to have that conversation with it, just leave it alone. Can we just probably focus on how they are doing and what's going on with them and try to like know what's going on with the person and not being so worried about my weight. I mean, I'm not taking up extra space now. It's not like I'm living on your house or we are sharing bed. So maybe I'm getting too fat or something. Just can we not just talk about people's weight? Yeah. I think it's a very sensitive topic because you don't know where people are in life. So yes, I understand that it's ignorance, and that's why conversations like this have to happen so that people know that it's not really right. It's not right to, because some people do it out of ignorance. It's something that, especially in Nigeria here, they just take it upon themselves to talk about people. I'm at the place where if you say it, it doesn't change anything, though, because I know how
Don't
I
say
got here. I know, but I know I wasn't always there before. If you say it, I get so triggered because I was trying so hard to lose weight. I was working out every morning, doing this one that I did not even lose. Instead, I was adding more weight. So when somebody comes to me and is telling me all of that thing, I felt really, really, really bad. But the crazy thing, rested in myself, a lot of things aligning and all that. I'm not even doing as much as I was doing, and some things are just falling into place per se. But the truth is,
yeah.
I will get pregnant again, I will add weight again. I won't be too worried about what you're saying. It's what I have in mind, how I feel like I want to look right now, how I want to look. That's all that concerns me. You have your mouth. When you finish talking, you'll be going. But to because everyone is not here and people are fighting silent battles. You don't even know if it's hormonal imbalance someone is going through. You just up and tell me, what's your weight to? It's not good. Though. You have to be careful. Men, so you can keep your home and all that. It's not important that someone. So let's not just talk about it. Let's not talk about weight. Let's not talk about anything. While someone is working on herself, listening and reading positive things that will help you, because everything comes from within. Self-love is also you knowing um what to eat, when to eat, how to take care of yourself. you know it's not just
Yeah.
leaving yourself there and shouting self-love. So there's always a balance. If you love
Yeah.
yourself enough, you want to work out, you want to diet, you want to do some of these other things to stay healthy, but not because of someone's opinion, not because of people will not think that
Yes.
I'm beautiful that way. It's because you know that it's going to help me when I'm 70 or 60. I'm still going to be able to climb that stairs without complaining about my waist. So you go back to
Yeah.
the gym and help yourself, not because, people think
True.
that if I'm not skinny, then I'm not pretty and all of that. Let's just stop talking about it. I can't overemphasize it. If you see someone that's added weight, just how are you and how are you doing? How's your husband? How are your children? How are you as a person? People know when you're genuinely asking, how are you? People know when you care. Energy will never lie. Like I always say, no matter how many times you. So if you're genuinely, interested in the person, you might even get to the root of whatever it is that is causing that. And if you can help, you help. If the person is not asking for your advice,
Yeah.
zip your advice and keep it to yourself. If you have to go and pray for the person, pray. If you have to do whatever, do. Don't tell me, we don't know if I'm trying for a baby, so you can't come and be telling me my heart desire and all of that story. Things like that. Well, that's of course
Thank you.
the materials that we soak, the materials that we, like you said, there's some contents that I try not to open, so it's not all over my explore page, and then I am now tasked with looking at it. And of course, there's a conscious part of you looking for books and videos or clips or whatever materials for something that you're dealing with, because you won't just wish it away. You won't just lie down and think that, sometimes it will never pass. You have to consciously and be intentional about your own mental health, about your welfare as a person. So if there's something that you're dealing with, it's your responsibility to look for help. Nobody's going to save
Yeah.
you. That's what I realized. Nobody's just going to come and whisk you off your
True.
bed. If you're
True.
going to, especially, I'm not talking of things like depression or things that have gone too far that you really may not be able to control that much, you know. But things like maybe your weight, your hormones, your diet, exercises you can do, going for checkups and all of that, it can help. But in all, you just know that wherever I am right now in life, I'm just the best version of what I can be right now. While I'm pushing to be whatever, I'm going to look at this person
Exactly.
in the mirror. I'm going to look at this person in the mirror and like what I see. I'm going to speak until I like it. Because sometimes you may not like what you see, but if you keep saying
Yeah.
it long enough, you just be like, oh man, girl, you fine. Purr. Keep about it, girl. You are so pretty.
Per. Period.
Purr. I'm still trying to learn the
Yeah.
whole Gen Z thing, yeah. Purr and period.
Per.
Period. Yeah, so that's
Meanwhile,
that.
with the Gen Z
Mm.
slang thing you just mentioned, I heard about a guy who was on a Zoom meeting, like a Zoom work meeting, and then one of his female colleagues said something. Like there was an argument, and one of his female colleagues said something that was really nice, really smart, and that resonated with him. The guy just opened mouth where he was and shouted, "Let her cook!" HR called him.
Mhm.
He lost his job,
HR.
just for that.
He did just because of that. Come on, that's
He
toxic,
lost
I
his job.
beg.
They said it was a sexist comment. Yeah, I know it's common Gen Z language, but that's something different. But he said he wasn't so keen on the job, so he didn't fight it. So when they said they were terminating him on those grounds, that he was like, I beg, me too, I'm leaving, I'm
Because he
done.
said let her cook.
Yeah, I
Please,
guess
what's the meaning? Or is it not the
that's
same
like
meaning
him
and good?
supporting her.
Yes, now. I mean, it's like saying period. Like, girl,
Period. Okay, on that
the,
note,
the,
thank you
the
so much for
HR
making
has
that
been
link there.
the HR has been looking for how to sack that guy.
I think I agree. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we'll do this again sometime later. Thank you for saying yes and coming,
Mhm.
to have this talk with me. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
So I just hope that watching this video, you give yourself the gift of, self-love this Valentine's season. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and say hello to Bex. Cheers. Bye, girl.
All
Catch
right,
you
bye.
later.
It was so good to have this.
Bye. Thank you.